Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Muller here. How is everybody getting along? Well, we got quite some changes in the forecast here. Many of you are wondering what's going on with the Friday, Saturday snowstorm situation. Is that still on the table? We got a lot of uncertainty with that. And as we go in time, is this going to lead to a bigger system next week? Take a look at the upper flow pattern as it heads towards the East Coast, the middle to end of next week. Could be we looking at a major trough setting us up for a major East Coast snowstorm. Take a look at that. Yeah, that's pretty significant. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Hold up. What is this? Yep. Is this? Yep, tropical chance of development 50% through day 2 and 5. We could be looking at a potential tropical system or subtropical system named Storm here in the Central Atlantic. I'll have full details later on in this video. If you want to skip ahead to that, timestamps down below. All right, so our winter storm impacts for later this Friday into Saturday. Yeah, we're looking at the potential for some accumulating snow. You know, if you're in the green zone, probably an inch or less, a coating. And this yellow zone, this is where you have the possibility of getting, an inch or so, especially even on roadways. And then orange zone, that is where I think you have the best chance of advisory criteria snowfall. This is not going to be a major storm by any stretch of the imagination, but it will be your first, widespread one here across much of Pennsylvania. All right, so getting into totals, I'm going to explain as we go throughout the video why I think this is going to be. It's definitely not going to be the big, extreme widespread event we thought it was going to be a couple days ago. We thought this storm system was going to get snow more to the northeast here and eventually into much of New York, New Jersey, and New England as well. That's just not going to happen. The low's going to slide to the south just like this, and I'll be showing you here momentarily on the models. You see, we're going to get, I think the bullseye is going to be right around this 3 to 5 inch mark, and that's going to fall right around parts of southwestern Western New York here into central, northwestern, north central Pennsylvania here, right around just west of State College, especially these highlands here in the Alleghenies and the Laurel Highlands. I think that's where you stand the best chance of seeing that 2 to 5 inch accumulation. Places like Bradford, Warren, St. Mary's down just west of State College here. Potentially, we get into Johnstown and Altoona area as well. Harrisburg, you're going to start as rain and end as wet snow. Binghamton, Scranton, I still have you in the coding here, but it's not looking good for any kind of accumulation here. All right, so take a look at the 500 millibar flow pattern here with the high resolution Euro. This really gives us a good idea of what's going on upstairs. And, as we head throughout the rest of the week, here is that big area of energy in the Ohio River Valley. Here it is. It's right across Indiana, parts of Ohio. This is Friday at 1 p.m. Now, watch what happens here. You can essentially see there is an area of high pressure, and things are diverging here in this entire area. You're also getting tremendous amounts of dry air entrenched into most of New York, parts of northeastern Pennsylvania, New England, northern half of New Jersey as well. And watch how this pivots to the southeast here. You can watch how this just unfolds. There it is. It has no way to go to the northeast. So initially we thought this storm could actually make it into the northeast, but there's the energy sliding to the southeast here, and this allows this system to continue onto the southeast. Now there's going to be energy left over behind that. So for Saturday into Sunday, look what starts to happen here. So if you have any travel plans Sunday into Monday, that might be in jeopardy here because there's going to be an area of energy here and here, and the two might actually try to combine forces in phase. All right, so let's take the GFS first. This is that system that moves through Wednesday, 1/4 to 1/2 an inch across the northeast. And there's Thursday. This is the first wave. There's not going to be too much snow for this. Maybe on the northern fringe in north central Pennsylvania, northeast Pennsylvania, might get a dusting or a slight coating, but it's a second wave, watch, that comes from the Ohio River Valley here. Take a look at this. We can look at the GFS because up to this point, it's all right. It's agreeing more with the Euro and the Canadian here. We will definitely have some accumulating snows here in north central Pennsylvania and eventually the rest of central and northwestern Pennsylvania here as well. Take a look at this as we head into There's Friday, 10 p.m., 1 a.m., Saturday, that dives to the south, and it will be ending. It'll be starting as rain here in Harrisburg and ending as wet snow, so maybe a coating to an inch or two. Higher elevations, though, could see that 2 to 5 inches. So to get a good update of what's going on here in the upper levels, you definitely want to look at the 500 millibar. Here's the height anomaly. This is a tremendous strengthening ridge here across northeastern North America. That's why it gives very low confidence to systems here across the East Coast and basically the eastern third of the country for that matter. So this is Thursday heading into Friday. See how that ridge is still propagating there across the east? Saturday, look what's starting to propagate towards the west here, this trough. And if this can build a little bit further to the west and start to erode this, any energy that drops down here across the lakes will explode, and guess what? It really won't have any place to go because it'll be brick-walled up here into parts of northeastern North America. But look at that. Sunday, here's where things get a little bit more interesting. See how this wave comes out of the Great Lakes here and starts to combine forces here with this trough along the U.S. East Coast. That is where we could see that phasing happen Sunday, later Sunday into Monday, along the U.S. East Coast before that kicks out and we see an even bigger trough. Look at this. This is Friday. This is pretty interesting here across the Northeast. We could be looking at a major East Coast snowstorm here as we head through the last part, Friday, December 16th here. All right, so let's start off with the Canadian. We'll switch things up here a bit. Yeah, so that Wednesday system into Thursday, that sets the stage for high pressure to build in. Let's stop it here at this frame. Make sure we get this all in. So here, essentially, there's that 1040 millibar high. This is where all this air is diverging. You have this system. It can't go northeastward here. Watch what it does here on the Canadian. So, yeah, it slides to the southeast. There's the Ohio Valley. This is by about 3 to 4 a.m. on here it is, Saturday. Look at that big system out west. Yeah, you're getting clobbered out in the Pacific Northwest, parts of Northern California as well. That's great news for you. Let's take a look here as we get into the Northeast. We're going to take a look regionally here. So essentially, that system here there's that first wave. So you're going to have a wave here moving into the Northeast. Now, look what the Canadian does. It literally just fizzles this out. We do have an initial burst of some rain, wet snowflakes, and then turning to snow and ending as wet snow. Look at that. The Canadian is really backed off on this a bit. So that tells me, and then look at this, Sunday. Yeah, we've delayed the major impacts, not major, but moderate impacts here. Here's the low pressure, and look what's trying to form here along the coastline. Yeah, look at this. This is great news if you love snow. It's terrible if you have travel plans for Sunday. So Sunday is now looking like the bad day across the Northeast. I'm not going to get into snowfall totals with this because, we've been flipping back and forth with this, but it looks like the energy left behind from that fizzling system that moves out eventually to the southeast on Friday night into Saturday. This is going to set the stage for potential accumulating snows at upstate New York, parts of the Catskills, Poconos, the Hudson Valley, Adirondacks, the White Green Mountains. And look at this. This is Monday afternoon heading into the evening. A healthy 996 millibar low. Take a look at this banding of the snow that's occurring. So we might have some of the heaviest snow sitting up around the Capital District of New York, the Catskills, Poconos, northern part of New Jersey, over towards Worcester, just northwest of Boston here, up towards Concord, New Hampshire. Look at this, 988 millibars. This is heading into the early morning hours of Monday here. Take a look at this. This pulls towards the northeast and continues to strengthen into Maine. And look at that. Yeah, this is going to be a major block because look what it starts to do. It starts to retrograde southwestward here for Tuesday. This is around noon. And look at that. It actually starts heading southward here, pulling some moisture to the southeast. Now look what sets up next week. I'm not fully in agreement with this Thursday. It drags a warm front through the area and then secondary low development pulling in cold air behind it. Now I want to show you the latest Euro that's just come in. This is pretty interesting. So there's our system Wednesday pulling through, pulls that cold front through. So colder air filtering in. There's Thursday, a nice day across the Northeast. Now here's Friday. Here we go. So this is like right around noon, 1 p.m. You start to see the Euro's a little bit quicker. You start to see some mixed precipitation breaking out with some bursts of heavier snow in the Laurel Highlands and Alleghenies of Pennsylvania here. Take a look at that. So let's back that up one frame. This is just after midnight, Friday night, heading into early Saturday morning. You could have some accumulating snows here from Erie, Pennsylvania, Bradford, down to the Capital District of Pennsylvania. And take a look at this. Yeah, Saturday, we head towards sunrise. There may be some snow showers in the area, but look at this. It doesn't, if you take a look at the Euro here, it doesn't make it northeast of a line like that. So if you have travel plans here in New York, Pennsylvania, this part of New Jersey, northern New Jersey, New York City, Albany, Binghamton, Syracuse, these areas, you're looking pretty good. It's not too bad. Now, if we take a look at the previous Euro, we can go a little bit further out. The previous Euro was a little bit more bullish on snowfall amounts there in Pennsylvania. And then look at this, Sunday into Monday. Here's the phasing that could occur. The Euro's a little bit further to the south here. Here's that system off the, the northeast coast here. So look at this. Yeah, we could have some snow, accumulating snows here and across parts of upstate New York. But the Euro kind of slides the energy to the southeast because the Euro is much more strong and potent with that high pressure in northeastern North America. So if we take a look at snowfall amounts here on the Euro for Friday night into Saturday. Yeah, here we go. So that is kind of on target what I was thinking. So let's stop there on Sunday. So there it is. We go from Friday night to Saturday. So we're looking at anywhere from 1 to as much as 5 inches, depending on the elevation here in northwestern, central, and south central Pennsylvania. Now watch this as we head into Monday. We get a little surge up there towards Binghamton, Albany, Poconos, Catskills, and that takes us through Friday next week. So not as significant as what we were originally thinking here. So let's see what the Canadian does here. Is it on par with the Euro? Well, the Canadian's really backed off. There's practically no snow going from Friday night into Saturday until you get into, there it is, central Pennsylvania. But then it's Sunday. Ooh, look. Wow. Okay. So if the Canadian verifies here, this could be pretty significant. That would be from later Sunday all the way through Monday and Tuesday. Look at that. That's an area of 15 to 25 plus inches there. Not too shabby here across the rest of eastern upstate New York, too. Look at that. 4 to 8 inches on average. Not too shabby. So if you love snow, the Canadian is the one you're hoping for. If you take a look at snowfall totals across the nation, there's through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and there's through the rest of next week. Yeah, it's actually the West that's going to see the lion's share of the snow into the northern plains. It's not showing too much here in the East now. And as we start off with the Canadian here, yeah, Canadian's a little more bullish there. This takes us all the way through the end of next week. Look at that. Yeah, this is kind of on par with what the CFS medium range model as we took it through much of December was looking like. So, yeah, nice going there, Canadian. If that actually holds true, many of you people who love snow will be rather pleased by this. Now, as we take a look at the GFS, I told you to take this with a grain of salt because it's been really squirrely and messed up since the upgrade. Isn't it amazing that the GFS went from the biggest smash blockbuster snow here across the East to a drought here? This is through Monday, December 19th. Look at it's actually showing absolutely almost no snow across the Northeast. So this is why I am really wary of even following this model right now. It's just been atrocious since its upgrade. And then it's hinting at a big northern New York, northern New England snowstorm around Thursday, December 22nd. But really, I don't know if I can throw much at or into the GFS for that matter. So take a look at the Euro's latest liquid precipitation. That's interesting. So let's just take the first part here. This is through Saturday. You can see most of it. This is through Monday, actually. West Coast, Mississippi, Tennessee, River Valleys here. Parts of the New England here up over 1 inch. 1 to 2 inches here in the purple. Look at that, 2 to 3 inches there into the red. And those isolated areas above 4 inches in the yellows and oranges. That's crazy. I'm crazy here. So as we head to the Canadian, yeah, this is just through Thursday. Canadian's going crazy here with some of these precipitation amounts. And look at this. We head into Monday, Tuesday. There's that massive nor'easter in the northeast. Canadian blasts this thing up into a mega storm. Will it happen? And then another storm towards Friday, December 16th. So, yeah, that northeast corridor, if the Canadian holds true here, I take more stock in the Canadian than I do the GFS lately. So that says a lot. All right, so let's get into precipitation totals here. The Euro, this is your Wednesday system, and then we head into Friday and Saturday. So you see that blob of moisture to the west there. We can't separate the two. Let's just back up here slightly. So here it is, Saturday. It gets a little confusing when you have multiple systems, but this is mostly with the Friday night, Saturday system. So yeah, if you get snowfall, it's going to be on the order of 2 to 5 inches, most likely in this. And actually, let's see if we can get... So let's take the Canadian through the rest of the forecast period where we stopped right around Sunday and Monday. There's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There it is, blasting that first low into the northeast, retrograding back there on Wednesday. Yeah, that high is just so strong up there in North America. A little skeptical is this. You know, it's possible that could happen. Well, let's take a look at the high-resolution Euro here. So this takes us out. There's the weekend. Possible phasing. Look at that. That takes us through... Yeah, the Euro's showing a big surge of warm air next week. A little skeptical of that with all the blocking. Will that system actually be able to head up this direction? I'm a little skeptical. Yeah, so here we go. Look at this. This is a pretty formidable system out here in the Central Atlantic, spinning just northeast of Bermuda, or east of Bermuda for that matter. Here is Bermuda, by the way. Here's the U.S. East Coast. Here is our system. It's actually forming what could be an eye here by Wednesday. This is crazy to even think about. But you know what? This tropical system, or the season, doesn't seem to want to die. Look at this. It looks pretty healthy out here. No, very little wind shear. It's pretty well protected. This is Thursday. I do think it'll be pretty brief, though. And by brief, take a look at that. Yeah, it kind of gets caught up in the westerlies. I still think it has a chance of becoming a named storm, and then it kind of becomes extra tropical there by Friday. Look at that. The rest of the tropics, though, looking pretty quiet. I didn't think that we'd actually see a system up here, named system. I thought it would be more likely down here in the Caribbean, but look at this as we head through the Caribbean. A lot of you said it's very nice. You're enjoying the cooler air and lower humidity. Look at that, Saturday, December 18th. And we can go all the way just before Christmas. You do start to get evidence of some shower and thunderstorm activity, but it stays south of the Caribbean islands here by December 22nd. All right, for my Western Pacific people, your eyes are pretty well drawn to this area. I know they are. And here's the Philippines. I'm a little bit concerned about this. Let's actually go out in time here and see what the model situation is. See how it kind of starts barreling. This is Wednesday at 1 p.m. So Wednesday at 10 p.m. It is a fast mover. That's our only saving grace here. So it's not outlined for development in the short-term tropical forecast, but as you can see here, it is going to pack quite a bit in the way of wind and rain. And I do think there could be some sort of development here by Thursday. I'm a little shocked that the Tropical Center hasn't issued anything on this potential system. But this is Thursday at 10 p.m. So if you're in the central Philippines here, northern Philippine Islands, definitely want to keep an eye on this. Take a look at this. Let's continue through. Yeah. So just as I thought, it's going to pivot through parts of the central Philippines here. And as you can see, it pretty well holds together pretty well. It's actually forming some sort of center that concerns me a little bit. So I'm going to have frequent updates on this. This is this Saturday at 1 a.m. So we're looking at the potential here. If this doesn't I don't think it'll become a typhoon, but tropical storm is not out of the question. And then it kind of meanders towards the northeast. And thankfully, I think this has the chance of development. And take a look at that. It may become a weak typhoon, but probably after it starts pulling away from the northern Philippines. This is Tuesday, next Tuesday, December 13th. You see it's getting pulled up in the westerlies there. And you can see there's evidence here of a frontal boundary to the north. So it is getting caught up, thankfully, in these westerlies. Potentially another system there southeast of Japan. But those should be no threat to land after they start to recurve like that. You see the stratiform, kind of like cloudiness deck forming in behind this. This is a layer of cold air in the upper layer. So you're not going to have too much chances of development while that is moving through. And as you can see, there it is. It moves to the northeast. So you start to get a bit more wind shear coming in here from the southwest. And that's great news to shear any tropical systems away. This is Wednesday, December 14th. And let's take a look here. So yeah, heading on through the rest of the third and heading into towards Christmas. Yeah, the intertropical convergence zone sinks way to the south. There may be some development here hinting as we get just before Christmas. See this area in the southern Philippines? But there will be a period of 2 weeks of pretty quiet weather. An extended outlook from hometown viewers. Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna Valley of upstate New York and northeast Pennsylvania. Look at this. Wednesday, showers up to a quarter inch. That cold front will be moving through for Thursday, Friday. Look at that downtrend in temperatures, but still above average 40. That system to your south will keep that snowfall across central Pennsylvania. So I'm not expecting any snowfall now in the Binghamton or Scranton areas. You might see a few flurries or wet snowflakes Saturday morning in Scranton, but it's not going to be much. It's going to be Sunday where we got to watch for that potential system and phasing going on. We might see rain transitioning to wet snow, 2 to 4 inches possible. Thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather Northeastern. Don't forget, link is in the description down below for my winter outlook for this winter season. And also, if you want to buy me a coffee, tip jar also down below. You can find it down there. Also, Facebook MeteoMark. Also, Weather Northeastern. Also, Hurricane Northeastern. Also, Twitter @WeatherEastern. And don't forget, MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com. Thanks for joining me.